Hey everyone, today I'm going to review for you the Anna, Olaf, and Elsa BrickHeadz. Now, the reason there's three is because um, it would make sense that these two would come in a pair for a BrickHead, usually because they've been doing pairs lately for BrickHeadz, to sell BrickHeadz. But this time they decided to put Anna with Olaf and then just put Elsa on her own, which is kind of weird to me because they could have paired her up with someone else, like maybe the bad guy from the movie, or even brought Olaf and put her with Anna, or put him with Anna. What am I saying? What I'm trying to say is that if they instead, what they instead should have done is put Olaf with Elsa, and then they could have put the male character that was with her throughout the movie. That would have made a lot more sense. I forgot his name because, yeah, it's been a long time since I've watched the movie. But yeah, if they made it like that, that would have made a lot more sense. And they could have sold it for this one 20 and this one 15. But this is just kind of weird, like 10 and then 15. So yeah. As far as the order, Anna goes first. She's like number 53. Olaf is 54. And Elsa is 55. I don't know why they still do the number thing, because they even stopped doing printing for the numbers or what series or what number it is. Yeah, they used to put the series for it. And they didn't do that anymore. I think because they're spending so much money on the printing for everything else, and also for BrickHeadz, mainly for the 1x4 brick, and then 1x2 bricks, and usually the eyes, everything. Just there's always printing for BrickHeadz. So I think since they're spending so much money on that, I don't think they. I think they just decided to opt out of the printed tile, 2x4 tile, where it shows the series number. But yeah, let's start off with Anna, or Anna. I don't really know how to say it. The design is really cool because usually the hair is always well done. And they actually captured it very, very well, because the hair is not just going on the back of her head. It's actually also going under her ear and then over her hands and I think coat. So the way they did that and made the technique continue, the hair continue like that, is very unique. And obviously the color is like a clay color to capture the look for her hair. And then over here you see the printed, if I can zoom in or focus at least, you can see the printed 1x2 brick where it shows her dress, the top part of her dress. I think she wears like a scarf over it, so that's supposed to continue. The way they made it continue from brick to the printed brick is very cool. Not brick, plates. They like made the pattern continue, which is really cool. I don't know if this random, I think this was part of her skirt, but I feel like she only had blue on the bottom. I don't know why there's a different color. I might be completely wrong, because again, I haven't seen the pictures or from a long time, or even the movie for a long time. And then over here you see the bottom of her skirt, or just her skirt in general, which is a printed 1x4 brick. And that's cool. And again, this is the continuation of the scarf that she's wearing. And it's not just the back of it, it's also the side that they included. Instead, if they just put it like the way they did the side is really cool. Again, they stopped doing the traditional BrickHeadz where it's just all, I think, 12 for the head, 12 of these pieces for the head, and then just like 4 or 5 for the hands and everything. So recently the BrickHeadz, they've been doing it in very unique ways, just to capture the look of the character. And they're not just going for this traditional BrickHead design, and they're going really free with how they're designing all the BrickHeadz, which is really nice. As far as printing, the only other thing is the printed 1x4 tile over here, which is her kind of freckles. And then 2 printed 1x1 round tiles for her eyes to capture the I don't know, just the eyes, and the traditional BrickHead eyes. Next one is Olaf. Now, since this is half a BrickHead, it's half the price. So instead of $20 with Anna, it's actually 15. So it's just kind of weird how they did that, but it also makes sense because if they just sold it for $20, it wouldn't make any sense at all. So, for him, I actually like this one's my favorite BrickHead so far. Not so far, I do have other favorites, but the ones I've gotten recently, this one is my favorite because even though it's not a whole BrickHead, because if they did do a traditional BrickHead, it wouldn't make sense for the size comparison at all. So the way they did that just to make it a little shorter is kind of amazing, the way they captured the look. I've always wanted to make a mini BrickHead myself, but I mean, they beat me to it. And for the mini BrickHead, instead of a 4x4 plate, they obviously did a 3x3 plate instead. And usually there's a brain piece, but this time, since it's so tiny, they didn't include one, but it's not like a traditional 2x2 pink brick, if I can actually show you, because it's actually pretty interesting how they did that. Instead of a 2x2 brick, they actually ended up doing a 1x1 plate instead, and they put it inside. So that's really cool. So even if there's a small BrickHead, they always include the brain detail. I don't know why they include that. I mean, it doesn't really need it, but just for fun, they usually like to include it. I can't really take it out right now for some reason. But yeah, like there's a lot of color on the inside, but obviously you wouldn't notice because it's all blocked. And usually even with the tiles on, you can see a little bit of the black, but no one really cares. I mean, I don't really care, but you know, I'm just pointing it out. And then he also gets a printed 1x2 tile for the one tooth that he has, so that's really awesome. And for his cheeks, instead of just putting a flat, or instead of just putting a 1x4 plate over here, instead they actually used two of these newer pieces. It's like headlight pieces, so that's cool. They used two of those and used a curve brick, a curved tile for both sides to show his chubby cheeks. And then over here, instead of a printed brick, they went with plates and tiles. So over here, in the front is a 1x3 plate for just one of the buttons, or yeah, for the snowman, for him. And then 2x2 printed tile for the rest of the two buttons. And then for his arms, for the twigs, and I don't remember what he had on his head. I think it's also a twig on the head, so they obviously included that. And then his hands over here for the snowman, so that's really cool. It does have a little bit of movement. I don't think there's no play value for any of these. I mean, unless for a younger age, I think some people like to play with it. I don't know, little kids, something like that. Just like to, I don't know, just make it move around. But yeah, this is mainly a display piece. All the BrickHeads, the whole BrickHeads line is mainly a brick. Well, it's supposed to be a display piece, just to display. And since this is smaller, again, they're supposed to compromise. And instead of making it a 4x4, just like completely a 2x4 tile on the top, and then on the bottom, I think it's just something else. They decided to use a 2x2 modified tile with I think that's what you call it, because since it's not fully a 2x2 plate, instead it's a 2x2 tile, and it has two studs on it, so that's cool. And then just two 1x4 tiles and one 2x2 tile. Again, this will go completely unnoticed, but obviously since all the techniques used for the BrickHead, you do notice, if you do pick it up, obviously you will notice these two pieces, like the red standing out. But yeah, again, it's a display piece, so no one will ever notice. And finally is the Elsa BrickHead. Since she's wearing a skirt, they completely continued with that and didn't just give her legs. The skirt techniques they used were really amazing. I don't really know exactly how, I don't remember which ways they attached it and everything. Yeah, so there's different ways that they did it. Obviously there's a 2x2 cone piece, not a cone piece, I think a round brick, that's what I call it. yeah, so different techniques, and to show a little bit of her leg, because yeah, the skirt doesn't completely cover her legs in the movie, from what I know, her character. But yeah, you can still see a little bit of it, and then the hands over here, she's not really holding anything. And then the standard BrickHead eyes, and then the hair also, the forehead kind of looks weird to me. I'm not gonna lie, because since they had to, based on the character, she has hair over her forehead. I mean, there's no other way to go around this. So it looks weird. Her forehead just looks weird. Usually, I'm used to just a 2x4 tile on top, but yeah, it just looks a bit weird to me. But that's the only problem I have with this BrickHead. And just like Anna, they have the hair just curling in front of her arms, so that's cool. And then there's, I think, yeah, there's one printed piece, excluding this one because these are always printed by default. This one is a printed 1x4 brick, and it's only printed on one side for her skirt. And then she's got her little cape, or I don't know what they call it. I don't think this is a robe, because this doesn't completely go around, unlike Anna's. But yeah, I think this is just a little cape. But yeah, since she doesn't have legs, you can't really see any legs at all. You just put it like this, and yeah, like that. So these three BrickHeads were pretty cool, especially the Olaf BrickHead. I love that. That's my favorite. But yeah, more reviews will come for the other BrickHeads I got. But other than that, thank you for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe.